This is the narrated PowerPoint for Module 5, creating a Qualtrics survey. There's actually two narrated PowerPoints for this module, this one and another one on writing surveys. So what I'd like for you to do for your discussion board activity is create a survey, and then I'd also like for you to respond to 10 of your classmates, being careful to kind of spread them out somewhat so that you make sure that if somebody already has 10 that you go on to somebody else's who doesn't. So we're trying to get everybody to have 10 responses to their survey. So to find Qualtrics, you'll find access to that on mygeorgiasouthern.edu. It's the third column over from the left, and then down a few. It's under Research Resources. So you'll click on that. It'll give you this. So you want to create a new project. So we'll click the button to the far right. Then again, you want to create your own. Button to the far right. Then you want to get started. And you're doing a survey, you make sure that's all set up like that. Button to the far right. And then when you get into questions, there's really quite a variety, and this is why I'd like for you to use Qualtrics and not SurveyMonkey or something like that. You know, for one thing, this isn't proprietary in the sense that it's going to put ads in your survey, and Georgia Southern's already paid for it for you. And also, this is a very powerful tool, and one that you would be well advised to learn how to use if you don't know how to do so already. And of course, you see right there in the upper left hand corner in the standard question section, you have multiple choice, and that's what lots of people use. But there are other things that you can do. There's a slider. You can rank order, and of course text entry. There's also things like where you can do a heat map, where you can have students do a hotspot type thing. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So here's a couple of text entry questions and what that looks like as you're working on it. Whenever you want to see it, you click the preview button right there, upper right hand corner again. When you're done previewing, you want to hit the publish button to the right of that, the green one, and then your survey will be published on the internet. But anyway, here's that hotspots thing that I was telling you about. You can set it up like that, and here I've got a picture of the planets, and we wanted to get someone to indicate which planet was the hottest. We could give them the choice of all 9. I don't know, there may be some controversy between Mercury and Venus, and maybe Jupiter is even a player since it's very radioactive. I don't know, but anyway, that's how you set it up, and then that's what it looks like. And you can see that I clicked on Mercury here, so my best guess. And then when you actually do start it, this is what or when you preview, this is what it's going to look like as well. It's going to show you 2 different versions. One is the way that it'll look on a computer, and the other on the right is the way that it'll look on somebody's phone. So that's useful to know. If you've got something that's problematic for a phone, it's good to know, especially if you think most people will be answering your survey on their phone. Then when you're ready to publish, you'll get this window. After you publish, you'll get the URL so that people can so it calls it an anonymous link. And what that means is that the people who respond to it will not be identified, and of course that's very important in terms of doing any type of working with human subjects. We want to preserve anonymity as much as we can. So that's what it would look like after you had actually published it. The chapter on surveys also covers estimating the confidence interval. And what you need to do to estimate the confidence interval is that you need to get the mean. Because what you're trying to do is indicate to what extent there is variation from the mean. And generally what you want to do that at is a 95% confidence. So when you get the confidence interval window up there, if we were looking at those figures to the left of the function arguments window, as I said, first you want to get the average, and so with this one the average isn't up there, but for that series of numbers that would be like minutes and seconds, or seconds that it took for people to complete the readability formula exercise. The average was 2 minutes and 52 seconds for doing that, and the standard deviation was 2.02, and then the size for this in terms of the number of participants we're looking at was 11. And so what we get there is 1.35 as the confidence interval. And that means that the range of the scores, we can say with confidence, a 95% confidence, that the scores range between 1.35 from the average, which was 2.52. And so that's a good thing to be able to indicate with any type of survey scores. Now, of course, a lot of times survey scores are pretty tight. If we went back and looked at that set of test scores that we had that was, that was problematic, that we looked at when we were looking at quantitative research. Now, with this one, the average, if you recall, was a 69 for this set of test scores. The standard deviation was 24.63, and the size was 23, and that gave us a confidence interval of 10.65. And so that means that we can have a 95% confidence that the average scores, their range, is between about 10.5 points of the average of 69. So they'll range between 59 and 69. Of course, there are scores above that, there are scores below that, but it means that most of them fall within that range. Questions? I'll see you online.